What would it take for parents to get serious about creating a nest egg to protect the children that they have? What would it take? My musings for the day is that parents inevitably tend to make their children grow up too fast when they don't have nest eggs, especially when things bad happen to them. Say, for instance, they die. So if the father dies and the children are still really young, the adult, I'm sorry, that's not what I meant. The first child decides to take it upon herself or himself to pause their lives and then look for job or something to be able to cater to the needs of the younger ones. And you see this happening a lot of times. And it's worse when, say, for instance, the mother is a stay at home mom who doesn't have any other source of income except for what the husband brings in. And no business, no nothing. So she's solely dependent on the man, which I know that is a choice, but life happens. No one plans for these things. So let's say, for instance, now parents, this husband and wife have, even if it's two children, which we know normally two children is kind of abnormal for African homes. But let's say it's two children or three, and the husband is a sole provider. He's not only the sole provider, he's not putting aside money for in case of things, and he doesn't let his wife in on his businesses. So let's say if he's not a 9 to 5 person, he runs a business, but the wife doesn't know the ins and outs of the business. So even if something was happening to him, she won't be able to take over to run it. Or he has investments and say he even has money, but he has kept the money in accounts and no one knows those accounts, no one immediate family knows. So we've heard stories of dormant accounts with large sums of money that you know no one has come to claim, so they've just been lying fallow for lack of better word, they've been lying fallow in banks. And I'm sure that if for some way they are able to be traced, you find out that the man has died and the children do not even, not just even the children, the mom do not know anything about this account, and they're here suffering. Someone has, become a sacrificial lamb, especially the first child. They are the ones who have forced their school. They are the ones who are looking for ways to curry favor from adults they feel that can give them things, the bare minimums to survive for survival. So they might go into doing runs for audiences that are not African. Runs is like, I don't want to say prostitution, but basically, sexual favors in order to get the bare minimum of food, housing, things to survival. And it's sad. It's really, really sad. So the question is, what can we do as parents? I have recently become a parent, and I know that these thoughts keep me up at night. And as you, the parents, it should also keep you up at night because the children did not choose to come into the world. You chose to bring them into the world. So if that's your choice should also be to protect them, whether you are there or not, whether life happens or not. Even if you make so little, but you still find money to buy drinks or, to do things that maybe gives you joy. And joy is good, but we should start thinking of what ifs. What if I go to work today and I don't come back? Say I had an accident and no one knows anything about me. What if I lose my job? What if I have an accident and I lose my ability to work or something? Because we don't really have benefits in Nigeria that would say, so for instance, in the US, currently in California, we have government benefits for low income families or families experiencing certain hardships or, experiencing homelessness. So you'd have the food stamps, which they call cow fresh, where you can use the card based on the amount they give you and you can buy certain foods, but only for foods. And then you have cow works where they give you certain amounts that you can spend not just on food but other items that you need in the house. So that's cash. And then you also have housing. You can apply to get housing where they sort out your rent. And different things like that. You have survival's benefits where you get to be paid a certain amount for losing a husband or a wife, or and then they have the SSN. So there are different benefits that that you can rely on, but that's accounted based on household size and income size. But we don't have that in Nigeria. And because of that, the fact that you know that no one is coming to save you, no government is coming to save you, no parastatal, no nothing, you should, in my opinion, do the best that you can plus more to protect your children so that your children do not lose the innocence and stop being children and start becoming adults when they're just 12, 10, 8, and taking responsibility that you have no business taking. So let's have those conversations because these are circles that keep going on. And that's when you now have things like grooming, where children are having to curry favors from adults and then it becomes sexual favors and they're abused. Then you have trauma children who are becoming adults and they're carrying this trauma, the pain. First, they've lost the loved ones, but then they have to go through and find out the reality of life. And then they are taking care of other younger ones that they have no business doing. So instantly they become parents. And then the cycle just goes on and on and on. We need to put perspective into things that matter and do it as quick as possible so that we don't become the statistics, we don't become the regular Nigerians who do this to our children. And that's my message for the day. Okay, bye.